Drama for the leader in this year's Dakar, Stefan Pederhansel. He was beginning maybe to think about a 10th Dakar victory, but that was until about 150 kilometres into this stage today, the second longest of this year's rally, and massive problems for the Frenchman. That was a prop shaft. It is completely mangled like a stick of caramel. He says it's a transmission problem, it's the prop shaft that's broken. It obviously broke with a massive clatter of noise. For the moment, we've got no rear-wheel drive, so Jean-Paul, my co-driver, he's going to try and remove the broken parts and see if we can just get front-wheel drive going on its own. It's going to be complicated. So Stefan Pederhansel losing the lead of this year's Dakar. What drama BMW are going through after having lost Nani Roma, the victor of the first stage, only 36 hours ago. Cotre saying, I'm trying to remove the parts to keep the front wheels working. That's not going to be easy because there are quite a few dunes still to come, particularly with Fesh and the deep ruts. We could easily get bottom out there, particularly with two-wheel drive. We're going to try and fix it, otherwise we're going to have to wait for the truck. What a long wait that is going to be. The run over from Copiapo down to the Pacific coast at Antofagasta had the crews running over 3 massive mountain passes, each one of them nearly 3,000 meters in height. But down on the plains, it was quick. People could get the things wound right up. Volkswagen last year had some data logging saying that Carlos Sainz ran for nearly 10 full minutes flat in top without even lifting. On board with Mark Miller and Ralph Pitchford, the American and South African.
In 200, double caution.
They rocked up the victors today. Mark Miller, formerly a biker, a NASCAR division driver, Pikes Peak driver, and of course driving in the Baja 500 and 1000. The second American to win in 2 days after Robbie Gordon was victorious 24 hours ago. Miller was never headed less for the first 53 kilometres of this 400 plus kilometre stage. So Mark Miller winning his first ever Dakar stage. Well done. He is now third in the overall standings. Carlos Sainz may have chased him hard, but it's now Carlos Sainz who may not have won the stage, but is leading overall. And he's leading overall by nearly 5 minutes. So Carlos Sainz, he led, well, the majority of last year's rally, and he crashed out just with 3 days remaining 12 months ago. Alatia, third on today's stage, but, well, now inheriting the second position that Sainz had. Everybody's moved up one, remember, now that we have lost Pederhansel. Flying was Robbie Gordon. He's really come out of nowhere. He's up to fourth in the overall standings, and every driver and everybody the world over impressed with the sheer pace of the Hummer. Gordon, fourth today. Still got an hour to make up, but he could still easily replicate that podium of 12 months ago. Janil de Villiers, he lost even more time today, nearly an hour with his Volkswagen. He can now only hope for a top 5 finish. Orlando Terranova did a good stage today, still getting used to the petrol engine with the Mitsubishi. 16 minutes back on the run into Antofagasta. But a top 10 finish easily on the cards now. BJ Baldwin, a late minute entry with the Robbie Gordon Motorsports Hummer. Another good day on the bubble of the top 10. He lost massive time 3 days ago, it's 12 hours back. Now Alfie Cox started the day 5th in the overall standings. What a run for the privateer Nissan, but quite fundamental problems have befallen him today.
No, we went off the edge of the ravine there and we nosedived into the ravine, and I think we've broken the bottom of the engine. So things go well and things don't go well. So yeah, we're out of the race.
That's cruel luck for Cox. He was so cheerful last night, but now look at this. Cox trying to warn another Nissan not to go over the edge just as he had a few minutes earlier. And even when you tell people, they don't even listen. How lucky was he not to go over the edge completely? That could have been a real catastrophe. And then a couple of minutes later, one of the T2 cars decides that it's going to do the same thing. And it does! Some people, they just don't listen. Mark Miller victorious, his very first Dakar stage victory. Surely it won't be the last. Carlos Sainz runner-up today from Alatia, Gordon fourth, Neves in fifth. But overall it's now Sainz who leads. From teammate Alatia and Miller, it's a Volkswagen 1, 2 and 3.
Yeah, it was a good day. You know, we had a conversation last night in the meeting to keep the same pace, and really that's what I did. Took no risks. We got to the really rocky sections, and I really was going easy. And I don't know, maybe it was just lucky to start in the rear, but we had no problems. Never got out of the car, and it was a great day, I guess.
At the end, we had a puncture. We had to change the wheel. We lost maybe a couple of minutes, but to be honest, I'm happy because the stage was very complicated. Long one, I'm happy to finish.
Yeah, it was really very difficult, not easy. And first 100k, I catch Peter Hansel, but I was try pass him, and I hit rock, and I have a puncture. And I changed Carlos, he passed me, just I stay behind Carlos all the way because it was very difficult take and a lot of dust, and but it's okay, I'm quite happy today. Good job, car working very well, and I am really happy.
I drove off road and I got stuck for 4 minutes early, and then we lost a belt at the back, so we lost about 6 minutes probably in the special. So you know, it is what it is. We're definitely in the fight now with Peter Hansel backing up a little bit. I think we'll have a good shot at it.
The Dakar Rally is just quite simply massive. And we've got a few numbers to try and explain the sheer enormity of the world's biggest motorsport event. 2,500 people, part of the travelling caravan. Over 9,000 kilometres of action for all of the 362 entrants. Over 30,000 staff to guide the entrants over the route. Total of 20 helicopters up in the air every day. 1.5 tons of food being eaten every day. One enormous mobile hospital, 50 doctors to tend to the injured. And in Fiambala, it was 48 degrees Celsius. 240 journalists from all over the world. And over 1,100 hours of broadcast television in over 190 countries. Stage 5 for the trucks, they were underway. Firdaus Kabirov, he was leading the stage towards the end of it. They still haven't come into the bivouac at the time of this broadcast, but the Kamaz trucks, how spectacular can they be? Steaming across a steaming hot desert. Engineering on a massive scale is just nothing close to it. somehow they all got through, and it was the Kamaz once more that is looking to defend its Dakar title. Quick note about Jan Lammers, the former Le Mans 24-hour winner. We saw him go off on the first stage, but he is still in the rally. He's a little bit back, but he is still going. The Kamaz trucks all dominant at the moment. They're in a 1-2 position in the overall standings. Kabirov and Chigin. Chigin, who celebrated his birthday yesterday. And you don't want to get stuck in anybody's dust, least of all the dust of a truck. The trucks are on their way, giving us more spectacular footage as we can now touch the Pacific Ocean into Antofagasta. Stage 6 is going to be next up, a long road section before we do a 418 kilometre stage further north and into the heart of the Atacama Desert. The Condors may well fly on stage 6 for a spectacular finish. Join us soon for more Dakar 2010 action.